Hey guys, so my god brother Brent Jones has a great new Sunday morning hit out called Praise in the Choir Stand. It's phenomenal, it's churchy, it's funky, it's a great Sunday morning song. We're talking about bringing the choirs back. I was privileged to record the guitars down here in my home studio for the original mix, and the guitars and the organ down here in my home studio for the remix. So what I'm going to do, with Brent's blessing, of course, I'm going to show you my process in recording the guitars for the original mix. I'm going to go through them track by track, and then I'm also going to show you, I literally recorded my process going through and recording the guitars for the remix, so I actually can show you real footage of that. So that'll be part two. Part one right now is going to be the guitars for the original mix. So, Brent's record label sent me the original Q mix. I'll play just a little bit of that, and then I'll play the first guitar, which is a rhythm guitar. Okay, so you get the idea. I'll play the whole thing for each guitar, but I'm not going to play the whole thing without any guitar. So the first guitar I laid was a rhythm guitar. And what I like to do, I like to do my first track. I generally don't listen to much of the song first. I will just turn on the track and start playing and start recording. Sometimes I'll use stuff from that first pass, but most of the time that's just about feeling it out. Usually I start with a rhythm guitar, and then sometimes I'll go back and punch or go back and redo that. But I usually will just start the same way I would if somebody was playing the song for me in rehearsal, like, hey, figure this out. So the first one I added was a rhythm guitar. Let's unmute that, and we'll play that all the way through. The choir is in the choir stand, and we praise the Lord. so that was the first guitar I laid, a rhythm guitar. Now, normally I would leave that one in the mix and record the second one. I'm going to mute it because I want to be able to clearly hear what each track is. The second one I laid was a wah-wah guitar. So I'm going to mute the rhythm and unmute the wah-wah. There's the rhythm again. That's not what I need. Okay, and then the next guitar that I did was a distortion guitar. I actually did 2 distortion guitars, but we're going to do the first one first. I just want to point something out. So the first one I'm doing da da da, and then the second one I'm doing da da da, and I don't know what they ended up using in the final mix. I deliberately did it two different ways, so if Eddie, who's producing, or the record company, JDI, if they liked one better than the other, they could copy and paste it and keep it consistent the whole way, or use it the way that I did it, which gives it some difference. So here, just to... I'm going to start that again because there's that line. That's the first way. Here's the second way. That part there, I doubled the bass line, made it thicker, fatter. Just want to show you. Mike Brill is killing the organ. The whole band is great, and these are my guys, but that organ's just standing out to me, man. But, I mean, Eddie's the MD, and Eddie's one of the greatest musicians in the world. I gave myself a little extra there at the end. I don't know if they used it. A lot of this stuff is in the mix, but it's low. Don't get me started on how they never mix guitars hot enough. Guitar and organ, the two instruments I play, are never mixed hot enough. But let's see what I did there. I gave myself a little extra there too. Let's listen to that. These are never perfect. Brent always taught me if you make it too perfect, it doesn't sound live. So a lot of these are my first take. If the first take sounds good in the mix and doesn't bother me, I usually keep it. did I do there? So I put a wah-wah on the distortion for that last one. Again, that's the reprise, and it's the third guitar layer, so I wasn't even sure that it was going to get used. So I was, you know... Let's hear what I did for the other distortion. I think I was just fattening up what I did on the first distortion check, but let's check it out. I want to hear the two distortions together. Let's hear. Yep, I was just fattening that up. But you'll also notice the second one's a little different. I'm going to show you. It's a different tone. It's a little cleaner. It's a little less. So I'll show you. So here's the first one. Second one. They're together. So it's two different tones, because when you layer, you want them to be different. No distortion on the verses. Whoop, that organ! One of a kind, that mic. I did a little, almost like a rhythm line, but it's since I did it on the distortion, I did it kind of bluesy. I'm going to solo that just so you can hear it. It's almost like a blues guitar lick. I'll keep praying. Same little bluesy lick. Keeping it consistent. Even though the rest of it changed, the lick still fits, so I kept it the same. You want it to be like every part should be a hook. Oh, I threw a little extra in there. It's one of the things I learned from my heroes, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Every instrument should be a hook. Everything should be an earworm. So I use that same thing, that same little hook. for the little outro line. There's little earworms that probably will get buried in the mix and nobody will notice, but it's still fun. It still adds to the magic of the song. Where's that? Okay, what did I do there? Little hooky line to lead in there that they may or may not have used. I got the wah-wah on it now. I want to hear those two together because I think I paired those up deliberately. Yeah, so there more?
Yes, it is.
Or that's the whole song. Okay, so then what I'm going to do next, because that's all I did for this one, just 4 guitars, which is very few layers for me, but since Eddie Brown was the producer and I know he likes simplicity from the guitars, I didn't layer it stupid fat the way I did with the remix, where Ray Robb is producing, who likes a lot of layers. So I'm going to mute the Q mix, I'm going to play the whole thing. This is the 4 guitars by themselves. Wait, I don't know what that was. There we go. Start it over. In the choir stand, my fault. Verse. Organ part. Nope, there's reprise. Okay, and I'm going to play everything together from the top.
The choir is in the choir stand. We praise the Lord.
there you have it. So next we're going to talk about the remix.